Hello team, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. It is set to be a very busy last few days of the transfer window, mainly with outgoings, but we're going to get into that and so much more. But first, my co-presenter and friend Andy is live from Ben Nevis with an important announcement.
Excuse me. Hello, I'd like to make an announcement. Does everybody know that there's over 900 Green King pubs in the UK, and they all show Newcastle games when they're live on the telly, and they bring the action live to you?
Are you getting paid to say that?
Thank you very much, Andy, for that important announcement. And once again, thank you to our sponsors, Green King. And if you didn't see our watch-along from the Man City game live at the Junction down Haymarket in the heart of Newcastle upon Tyne, it's still available to watch. And you'll have so many more chances to join us there this season as we continue to do many more watch-alongs and events live at the Junction. But let's get into today's video. A lot of reports now coming in that certain players, the fringe players, have been linked with moves away from Newcastle. First and foremost, Craig Hope reported last night that Luton Town are interested in doing a deal for Isaac Hayden. Isaac Hayden still has 3 years left on his Newcastle United deal. He spent last year on loan with Norwich, and there was a clause in that contract to say if Norwich got promoted, that would automatically turn into a permanent deal. Hayden had horrendous injuries last season. Norwich didn't get promoted, so he's back, and like a few others, training with the under-23s this pre-season. And I think it's a move that makes sense for everyone, for Luton, for Hayden, for Newcastle, and I think it's a really good fit. Love Isaac Hayden to bits. We had him on mine and Johnny's podcast, the Greenwood and Mulliner show. We had him on about this time last year, actually, and he's a great guy. Such a good attitude, and one of the key players that got us up from the Championship, kept us in the Premier League for so many years pre-takeover. Great lad, great player. Just didn't fit into Eddie Howe's system, and it's one of these things, if you don't fit into the system, there's no real place for you. It's a shame, but I think it's a great fit. Luton will do well because they're so short. As we saw last night, they're a million miles off what looked quite an abject and frankly bang average Chelsea side. I don't want to go in too hard on Chelsea so far because it's still early days under Poch. In fact, that reminds me, the first time I did the Sky Sports News Good Morning Transfers, the first comment I got, not from a Toon fan, said I look like a fat Pochettino. So probably do look like a fat Pochettino. Anyway, another one that's come a bit out of left field, I suppose. Damesh Sheth of Sky Sports reported last night that Besiktas were interested in doing a deal for club captain Jamaal Lascelles. Interesting one, this, because if you're going to let Lascelles go, you have to bring in a replacement. And the thing is, with the way things are now, you're not bringing in a replacement for Jamaal Lascelles. You're essentially having to bring in a replacement for Fabian Schär. So we improve the squad. And that's going to be very difficult. The obvious one, and the one that we've been linked to the most, is of course Benfica's Antonio Silva. Already in the Portuguese national setup, a handful of caps there, and he's only 19, looks the real deal. And I mean, if we can get that to happen, him and Botman at the back for the next 5-10 years would be pretty serious business. But it depends. Lewis Hall was brought in on a season-long loan for the immediacy, to balance financial fair play. Whether or not we could do that for Antonio Silva, depending on the fee we receive for Jamaal Lascelles, I'm not so sure. Look, Lascelles knows he's not going to get game time barring an injury, and now Lewis Hall's been brought in. That would probably take Dan Burn to not just one of your top choice at left back, but your third choice centre back essentially. So Lascelles has slipped further down the pecking order. I've always been a fan of Lascelles. Captained this team with dignity and honour and pride for so many years. He was bruised like so many other players were, Longstaff, Almiron, whatever. And don't get me wrong, I'd have no qualms with keeping him, with him having a handful of games this season. I really wouldn't have any qualms with that whatsoever. But long term for Jamaal. Probably does need a move for solid first team football. It wasn't that long ago under Rafa we were clamouring for him to be called up to the England squad. Could he get back to that form? Possibly, but maybe not. I don't know. That's dependent on him. But it's an interesting one, and one that you'll need to keep an eye on, because, as I say, that could maybe instigate another incoming. With only 5 or 6 days left now of the transfer window. The other one, the obvious one, it's now done. Ryan Fraser is now a Southampton player. Quite surprised actually that no Premier League teams were in for him, but whether or not he wanted to move back to the South Coast, he'd burnt his bridges at Bournemouth, of course. So he was waiting on a move to a club like Southampton, who will do very well this season. I expect them to come straight back up, along with Leicester. So yeah, he's going to get first team football. We'd love to be a fly on the wall and figure out why he was banished, because it wasn't that long ago he was keeping Miguel Almiron out of the Newcastle first team. So something's happened there, what we don't know. Was he the dressing room mole that was leaking stories? I don't want to speculate. I'll leave you to speculate in the comments, that's fine. But yeah, he's gone. Whether or not we see him back again, I don't know. But yeah, he's gone for the season. As has Jay Turner-Cook, one of the youngsters. He's gone to St Johnstone on loan. Great move for his development. Looked pretty sharp in pre-season. Had a few good cameo appearances off the bench. He's a decent player. So good luck to him. It's always good to see the youngsters get out on loan, proper loans, and get some minutes under their belt for their development. But let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, and let's have your predictions. What's going to happen in the next, the final few days of the transfer window at Newcastle? Mainly outgoings. Let's not forget Jeff Hendrick still is still at Newcastle. He needs a club. Where will he end up? Yeah, let us know in the comments what you think, and plenty more coming up. All the matchday coverage tomorrow. I hope to God we win. I can't stand Liverpool. The team, not the city. Love the city, love the people, whatever, but I hate Liverpool, the club. So fingers crossed for a win there, and then plenty more. We've got the Champions League draw next Thursday as well. Who do you want to face? Dortmund for me. Yellow Wall versus Wolf Flags. Let's have it. What a sight, what a spectacle that would be. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and stay tuned to Newcastle Fans TV.